From Worldwide Technology, this is the AI Proving Ground podcast. As nation states turn their sights from data theft to disrupting the systems societies rely on and use AI to move faster than human defenders, this episode explores how the cyber threat landscape is changing in real time and what enterprise leaders must rethink now to protect operations, trust, and resilience. In this episode, I'll be joined by former NSA Director of Cybersecurity, Rob Joyce, and WWT Chief National Security and Critical Infrastructure Advisor, Madison Horn. They'll talk about what's changing in the cyber threat landscape right now and how AI is reshaping both offense and defense. What stands out from this conversation is that the threat itself isn't new, but the speed, the scale, and the intent are. AI is accelerating both sides of the fight, and the organizations that learn to move with it, not fear it, will be the ones that keep control. Quick note, we're offering up a preview here with hopes you'll join us for the full-length episode on our new AI Proving Ground podcast YouTube channel. We'll drop the link here on the video as well as in the comments. We've got some phenomenal shows coming up that will feature visionary leaders within the AI world, from CEOs and chief AI officers to on-the-ground engineers and experts sharing insights on what is and isn't working, all in the spirit of helping guide you on your own AI journey. So be sure to subscribe and engage on our new channel. But for now, here's a preview of what to expect from Rob and Madison.
Yeah, I think the thing you can expect, though, is the speed, scope, and scale is just going to continue to grow exponentially. The ability for LLMs to generate hyper-targeted phishing emails, right, at scale. But more importantly, what we're going to see is LLMs starting to do agentic hacking. And that's a whole new world. And that's here today. I don't think people understand how much of the threat space is now starting to get automated through AI.
Yeah. Well, pull on that string a little bit more. You mentioned how it's a new world that we're already in today. So what does that, agentic hacking look like in practice? Is it just that the timelines are going to be way more condensed and things are going to happen rapid fire? What else is part of that?
So my history at NSA, I worked both offense and defense, right? I got to play nation state hacker and then defender against those nation state attacks. And the thing I learned was we at NSA succeeded against the targets we need to pull intelligence out of by knowing their network better than the people who built and defended it, right? The littlest detail could be that crack that's enough to allow something in. And what we're seeing now with AI is it gets to be relentless in probing and attacking and finding the things that you don't know are liabilities inside your infrastructure. So, we've all looked at for years, shadow IT, things that are not maintained and patched because the people whose job it is to do that security doesn't even know they're part of their infrastructure. We've seen the bad passwords that, we're trying to drive out through multi-factor authentication. But it turns out that, you've got 2 exception accounts that have been authorized not to have to use MFA. Mm-hmm. And so if you've got agentic AI that can try every account, it'll find the ones that are the exceptions to the rule. And there's really good examples of how this is in play already. There's a company called HackerOne, and they run bug bounty programs where you can sign your company's infrastructure up to be tested, crowdsourced by hackers around the world to see if your security is up to snuff. And they claim bounties for finding misconfigurations and unpatched boxes and cross-site scripting and all of the flaws that we know are, going to be detrimental. But maybe we haven't found them. So, this crowdsourcing will help. Well, we crossed a really big line a few months ago when an agentic AI system became the #1 bounty claimer on HackerOne. This company called Expo ran an agent, and it doesn't do creative hacking, but it runs through all the basic attacks over and over and over relentlessly. Yeah. And it doesn't sleep like, the energy drinks.
You don't need
the
energy drinks anymore.
but they still at some point go offline to eat and sleep.
Sure.
And eventually, this AI, if you want to scale it, you just bring more servers online. And so that's what I mean by relentless, is the ability to jiggle every doorknob, every IP address in your whole environment and test it against every known vulnerability constantly. And that's what we're up against. So when you see new exploits come online, we've watched the time from exploit discovery to exploit deployment drop from months to weeks to days, and now it's going to get to hours and minutes.
But what he is saying is, we talk about basic cyber hygiene. That hasn't changed. The approach to what are the tactics that we need to take to protect our infrastructure isn't necessarily changing. It's the scale in which we need to protect and defend and understand, how quickly we need to patch a set of systems when a 0-day is released. That is what's changing. But what we also have to remember, and this is where I'm a glass half full type of gal, and Rob claims to be, but we're going to get there at some point, I think, in the conversation. But, what we have to remember is that we have the same tools, and we just have to ensure that we're making the right investments to enable our cyber defenders to be able to compete against our nation's adversaries.